Jurassic Park is out now.
What if? What if we could bring the...
By the way, Jeff Goldblum, the Jeff Goldblum, did voiceovers and voice plot in the game during the main campaign. So Jeff Goldblum does play an essential character.
Past to life. From the very beginning, we got it wrong, leaving us no choice but to look back to where it all began. And now, well, now the future of human and prehistoric life depends on us finding ways to coexist.
I was watching XQC play a little bit of this last night. Bro, I'm not gonna lie, the game looks fucking hard. There's a lot of mechanics to it.
Especially when nature shows us who's really in control.
That's crazy.
We can't undo the past, but maybe, just maybe, we can avoid repeating it. All I can say is, I hope you know what you're doing.
The dinosaurs do fight. I did not know that the dinosaurs fight. I didn't know that. I mean, I just didn't even think of it. XQC, he made like a little a fighting arena, and he made it to where he can make the dinosaurs kind of infinitely. So he just let them battle it out.
Now, the very future is in your hands.
That's right, boys. It's out. Watch that review. This is the actual review from IGN. IGN, he gave Concord a 9. He gave... Actually, what did IGN give Concord? What did IGN give Concord? Gave it a 7. They gave Concord a 7. They gave Battlefield 6 a 5? Yeah, they gave it a 5. They gave the single player a 5. They gave the main campaign, I think, a 9 or a... What did they give the multiplayer? What did IGN give the multiplayer of Battlefield 6? They removed the score. Probably because they were getting cooked alive. And they also ranked Veilguard. That's the one I couldn't think of. So we got Concord at a 7. We've got Battlefield 6 single player at a 5. Battlefield 6 multiplayer redacted. And we've got Veilguard at a 9. Well, boys, it don't look like this string is going too good. These dots don't make a good line.
Save the dinosaurs from the volcano.
Hey, there he is, Jeff Goldblum.
only to put them in a cage.
If there's one thing we've learned from the Jurassic Park movies, it's that running a dinosaur theme park is not easy. It's a constant balancing act of keeping your employees satisfied, making your park profitable, and meeting your guests' needs, whether that means having enough bathrooms or just not getting eaten by a velociraptor. Jurassic World Evolution 3 once again puts you in the role of park manager, giving you a chance to do what the John Hammonds and Simon Masranis of the world could not: run a thriving, lucrative theme park with attention-grabbing dinosaur attractions and minimal violent deaths. With a complex set of management and customization tools, Evolution 3 gives you more control over your park than ever before.
There are so many customization options in this fucking game, it is outrageous. I don't think I have seen this much customization in a game in a very long time.
The result is an incredibly engaging management sim that's a high...
In fact, the last time I played a game with this much customization was Spore. That old... it's not that... It's old. It's pretty old. Spore, the computer game where you can start as a microbe and then grow to, like, conquer worlds.
Point in an already satisfying series. Like the first two, Jurassic World Evolution 3 shares a lot of DNA with other theme park sims. You're responsible for laying down paths and electrical...
I really appreciate how realistic it looks. I think that this is probably one of the few, I think other than maybe Topico? I think it's like Topico or something, or Topico, where it looks realistic and it doesn't look cartoony, like Coaster or World Coaster, Coaster World,
infrastructure, building amenities that appeal to your clientele, and creating experiences that get more guests through your gates. Rather than roller coasters and haunted houses, though, the attractions are all about the dinosaurs. Just about any species will garner business, but having a variety is the key to long-term success. And thankfully, you'll have a wealth of different dino types to choose from. There's always a bit of a thrill in seeing these legendary creatures come to life, especially when you unlock the more recognizable species from the films. Of course, when you go to Disneyland, there's almost no chance that Mickey and the princesses will escape their enclosures and maul the...
You know what they should do? They should add a function where you can take control of the dinosaurs. That would be so fun.
Park goers. That adds an extra layer of danger to Jurassic World Evolution 3, and park managers need to maintain a high safety rating to continue to pull in money. Think of it as a chill, cozy management sim, punctuated by moments of panic and terror. You'll have to keep your dinosaurs happy by meeting their food, environmental, and cohabitation needs. Some need room to roam or prefer to live in packs, while others can thrive in small areas with only a bit of pasture to nibble on. Carnivores require...
Yeah, so like, you really have to make sure that you build their areas big. Because I noticed that some people are running into that issue where certain ones need cover and brush and berries. But if you put down the berries, it removes the brush and the cover. And the cover is like trees. So like you need like a tree line, you know?
Either fresh meat or live prey, while herbivores need greenery, fruit, and nuts. Flying and swimming dinosaurs need special enclosures, since fencing in a giant fish is about as useful as hiding from a T-Rex in a bathroom stall. It's really satisfying to get in a loop of researching dig sites, sending expeditions to those sites, extracting DNA, and finally finding the perfect spot to incubate your newly discovered species. If that seems like a lot to manage, it is. But the campaign does a great job of walking you through the increasingly complex mechanics.
We should hook that building up to the path network, too.
Head of PR Cabot Finch, who you might remember from the previous Jurassic World Evolution games, returns as your guide as you visit existing parks in progress around the world and restore them to greatness. In a nod to the original Jurassic Park, the campaign begins in the Montana Badlands and eventually takes you to Las Vegas, Hawaii, and throughout Europe and Asia, adding a lot of variety to the local scenery. Finch is accompanied by a team of scientists and dinosaur experts, but the real star is Jeff Goldblum's Ian Malcolm, popping up from time to time to remind everyone that trying to control nature inevitably leads to disaster.
A wild, juvenile dinosaur.
Dude, the commentary he gives whenever your first dinosaur dies is priceless. Or whenever another dinosaur kills another dinosaur, it's so good. It's so...
Absolutely remarkable.
Even if you're already familiar with the series, the campaign mode is an effective way of familiarizing yourself with Jurassic World Evolution 3's new features. The biggest addition is the introduction of in-park breeding. Previously, you could only synthesize dinosaurs based on how much of their DNA you extracted from fossils found on expeditions. Now, once you've incubated compatible males and females of the same species, you can set up a cozy nesting area and wait for them to get busy.
Well, I'll be juvenile dinosaurs created the old-fashioned way.
This mechanic adds a few new wrinkles to the tried and true Jurassic World evolution formula. You can work with your scientists to create a breeding plan, or preferably just wait and see.
So whenever you synthesize them, I was curious to see how it is that you can even change the color of the dinosaurs. Whenever you synthesize them, whenever you create them with the DNA, not when you breed them, whenever you create them to put them into the park, which is how you first get them, you can choose what color they are.
See if nature takes its course. Who knew it'd be so fun to play matchmaker to a bunch of prehistoric dinosaurs?
I'm wildly curious to find out.
Once the next generation hatches, juveniles might have different needs than their parents. For example, while grown carnivores prefer to hunt their own prey, baby raptors and T-Rexes will need stores of prepared meat in their pens. The tallest dinosaurs can reach the foliage on treetops, but their offspring will need nourishment closer to the ground. If you let breeding go on unchecked, pens can get overcrowded, which leads to breakouts and general panic among your guests. While you're managing these dinosaur family units, you'll also have to curry favor with the entertainment, security, and conservation factions, another new feature. You can gain reputation by completing certain contracts, which are basically well-paid side missions, and improving the quality of your parks. Gaining a positive reputation with all three factions becomes very important in the last few chapters of the story, but they don't necessarily want the same things. Pleasing them becomes yet another balancing act that adds more depth to the gameplay. The campaign in Jurassic World Evolution 2 felt more like an extended tutorial, but this time around you'll have more breathing room to find your own management style. Its objectives serve as a backbone to the overall story, in which an activist group called Extinction Now regularly hacks in your communications and sabotages your parks. As you make your way around the globe, you'll also need to put a stop to Extinction Now's histrionics. The first few parks are heavily guided, but once the map opens up and you go international, you have a lot of welcome freedom to meet your objectives in whatever way you see fit.
Hey, tell me, did meddling in nature work out well the first time?
Part of the fun of the management sim genre is being able to create something entirely from scratch, which you can do in sandbox mode. This mode has been a staple of the Jurassic World Evolution games, and Evolution 3 offers even more customization options. To start, you can choose any of the locations from the campaign, generate an island with its own unique topography, or use the square maps for a perfectly flat, obstacle-free massive land. You have control over almost every aspect in the sandbox, including your starting funds, certain dinosaur behaviors, and beyond. You can make it more challenging for yourself with a shoestring budget, or choose unlimited funding to remove all cost barriers to creating the dinosaur theme park of your dreams, depending on what you're in the mood for. You can take on contracts to make extra money, but for the most part, sandbox mode is an unguided experience. It's easy to lose track of time when you're making sure your paths are perfectly aligned and setting up an unforgettable park tour with maximum dinosaur visibility. And unlike in the campaign, where Cabot, Malcolm, and the rest of the cast are frequently chattering at you, the sandbox is quiet and zen. Well, at least until the Indominus Rex gets loose.
Ooh.
The third gameplay mode, Scenarios, consists of time
I noticed that there was a Gigantosaurus or something like that. That one looked crazy.
Challenges with specific objectives and varying restrictions. In one, you'll have to take manual control of one of your ranger teams and take photos of wild dinosaurs. In another, you might be barred from editing the existing dinosaur pens regardless of the well-being of those inside. This time trial approach doesn't quite work, as it felt antithetical to the management sim experience, and the objectives weren't interesting enough to make them worth the effort. That said, it is impressive that Jurassic World Evolution 3 offers options for just about every kind of management fan. Longtime fans will also be happy to see the quality of life updates Jurassic World Evolution 3 has implemented. With the right infrastructure, you can automate maintenance and medical care, saving you from having to manually track down those units every time there's a crisis. Aspects that were convoluted or confusing in the previous games, like creating park tours, are far more straightforward. There are more tours to choose from beyond the standard Jeep rides and gyroscopes from the movies. You can set up a hot air balloon tour or build a Cretaceous cruise that allows guests to canoe through rivers and lakes. That smooths out a lot of rough edges. In the very first Jurassic Park movie, there's a moment where the main characters see dinosaurs in the wild for the first time and they're almost frozen in amazement. The Jurassic World Evolution series has done an incredible job of recreating that feeling since the very first installment. Seeing your first dinos leave their incubation center is always a thrill, and it gets even more exciting when your park becomes populated by pteranodons, megalodons, fierce carnivores, looming long-neck herbivores, and hybrid species that defy man and nature. Jurassic World Evolution 3 builds on an already impressive foundation to give aspiring dinosaur theme park managers more control than ever before. New features and quality of life updates make the third installment the pinnacle of the series, even if the scenario mode doesn't hold a candle to the previous game's chaos theory. If building and maintaining a dinosaur theme
Hey,
park is
hey,
your idea
I'll
of a
take
good
it.
time, Evolution 3 has plenty to offer.